I was a little bit worried that I'd have to queue for my ticket for a long time, but now the only thing that worries me is, can I be asked to walk that far to go and get one? Hey, I'm Rob from JestaThaRogue.com, and this is my little vlog of the UK Games Expo 2021. Now, that little thing you see in the middle of the screen from Twitch that says follow, that is going to be there for a bit of the video, not all of it. It was annoying, I couldn't get rid of it. I eventually found out how, but by the time I did, it was too late, so it's there for a bit, so please ignore it and enjoy the video. So basically today, yeah, so this is the first day of the UK Games Expo for press. We get a little bit of a preview of what is going to be at the show. Preferably, we want to see all the new stuff. That's what we want to see, so we can see what we're going to look forward to playing over the next three or 4 days. So today, arrived in Birmingham by bus. Of a nightmare journey, to be honest, because not many people wore masks. You're supposed to have your mask on all the whole time, and very few people did, which is a shame. Got to the hotel at 11. The press preview is at 6, which is in 6 minutes. So I had 7 hours to kill. So I played a bit of crazy golf. Went to a Treetop Adventure Golf in Birmingham and played some nice couple of rounds, 36 holes of crazy golf. It was a lot of fun.
They will be able to fix perfect reach and release within the next 7 months.
Come on. Get in, all in one. That was very good fun. Somebody's come out from UKGE. I did wave us towards the door, but nobody's moving, so maybe not. Okay, it's 1 minute past 6, so I don't know if we're late or anything. Somebody with a microphone who got here early and did some pre-recording stuff with the microphone has moved 3 feet to his right. I got excited then, I thought we were going in. Oh, some people have moved forward, somebody's walked in. No, false alarm everyone, false alarm. Check out the garden while we're waiting. Look at those. Lovely balls. I don't know if you can see this message that's stuck on my screen, but it's annoying. Oh, people are moving. Right, so instead of putting them here, ooh, there's a hog roast there. I've had enough today. I've had a Japanese and all sorts today. These are pretty cool though. Look at the UK Games Expo playmats. Game toppers, very posh. I'm doing a lot of walking. I get my steps in today. I'll tell you that for nothing. In fact, I've completed my step count today, so that's good. Oh man, that is going to get some of my money later in the week. Oh yes. Where do we start? Start at the back and come this way, because everybody else is going to start this end and go the other way, so I'm going to book the trend. So I think I'm going to start here. I'm going to get down this way.
That's the next big co-op game from Antoine Boza, adventure narrative game where you need to save the villages. You have 2 to 4 nights. You choose the story, you choose challenges, and you follow the story. I will not spoil you, but you follow the story. You have good things, bad things,
yeah,
and yeah, as a good co-op. That one is by a former engineer at Lego.
Okay.
As you make it. So it's a race to. So it needs to 3D see. It's a race to build the temples.
All right, yeah.
So you have a dice which give what you're allowed to do, and then you connect the piece one after the other, and when you have that coming in your deck, it's a race to build it as quickly as possible.
So Clover.
So Clover, this is me from Repos, out this week, just one meet code name. Privately, we each take a Clover, and we've got to write a word that matches up to these ones.
Okay.
And then once you're done, take all the cards off.
Okay.
Add an extra one, shuffle, and then you've got to put them back. So, I mean, if there were more of us, we'd all work on yours together.
Okay, so put that there, because that makes sense.
On their social on Friday, Mark's going.
I'm going to stick with... Oh, there, of course, yeah.
Ultra green. So, correct, I can't believe you got very no. No, that's wrong. It was that one was a terrible one.
Yeah.
So on the back, you would then write 3 points.
Okay.
For your one, you get 3 points.
Okay.
And then you'd go around, keep on going, and that's so clever.
Awesome, I like that.
Yeah, it's good fun. So it's a good fun, quick party game.
Now, unfortunately, at this point, my gimbal battery died, so it gets a bit shaky from now on. But bear with me, there's not long left.
All right, here's a big one. Tan Ridiculous edition, which is stupid. Right, okay, I don't mean this in a bad way, but one of the good things about wearing masks is that you don't have to hold yawns in, because sometimes, you know, if you want, like, cause it's been a long day today and I want to yawn, but I didn't, because I don't want people thinking they're boring me with their game description. I can just yawn behind the mask, it's great. Okay, Outrun.
Played this one. Everybody has an identical hand of cards with different symbols. A boss is flipped over with those symbols on in a particular order. You need to play them in that order first in order to escape higher up the track to move more spaces on the board to get out first. There are cards you can use to hinder your opponents, and some of the bosses come with different abilities, making things harder. I rate this 6 out of 10. I would play if I'm in the right mood.
And that is the end. Woo! So we can see, look at all the space they've got. So I don't know if this is open gaming or whether it's the tournaments, I'm not sure.
So after that, I head outside and then try and get back in.
So what's quite funny is, to get in the building as a convention visitor, you need to have a wristband. Give me a nice blue and yellow one, nice colours, very nice. But unfortunately, the guys here, this other end, because I came in through the train station, this is the other end of the NEC, they're giving you blue bands. So when they're looking at my band, they're saying, nah, you can't come in. And I had a big argument. Managed to get in eventually, oh God. Sort yourselves out. It's a good system though. They just need, a bit of communication. So this is the Friday. Now I said yesterday that with it being half empty and double wide aisles, that it's going to look more like tabletop gaming live. And that's exactly what it's like. Look how much room there is. I wish it was like this all the time. I wish Essen was like this as well. It's great. It's much more relaxed. Towards the end of Saturday, just going to do a walk around and hope funny stuff happens. Lots of smaller games down here. Drags to Riches has been popular. These as well. These Pokemon terrariums. Just amazing. This has been cool as well. This is something I want to play at some point. Karuka, which is a mix of crokinole and snooker. And this is Football Corner. Manageable and Counter-Attack and Football Fortunes all next to each other. And then the most adorable stand in the whole place. Oh, just missed out on getting a seat for June. These two I've been trying, June and Everdell, 2 games I've been trying to play for the last 2 days now. I've not had a chance to, but it's fine. But check out these. I love these, they're adorable. So squishy. And over here,
Played that one. Flesh and Blood is a one-on-one fighting card game where you discard a card from your hand for a resource and use that resource to play cards out of your hand to attack your opponent. Your opponent can play cards to defend, but any cards they use to defend will then not be in their hand on their turn when they come to attack. Get your opponent's health down to 0 in order to win the game. I think games like this I'd rather play Magic the Gathering, Keyforge or Ashes Rise of the Phoenix Born or any other game like this. I rate it 3 out of 10, likely will not play again.
one of Asmodee's booths.
Played this one. Res Arcana is a tableau building game where players have a very small deck of cards they'll work through, and you can discard those cards for resources and use those resources to play those cards into play as artifacts, which you can activate for resources and other abilities. You can also use your resources to claim monuments or places of power from the middle of the table. Artifacts, monuments and places of power are all worth points, and the player who has 10 points first is the winner. It's a very nice game, very nice system. It's got a lot of variability because you only play with so few cards. A lot of them are random, you don't know what you're going to get. You've got to do the best with what you've got, but I would say that it's not that interesting. I don't really feel I want to play it that often. I rate it 6 out of 10. We'll play if I'm in the right mood.
There's the sock game. The sock game is loads of fun.
Played that one. The sock game is a party game for 2 teams where you have a sock full of random bits and you spin the spinner, and the first player to pull that matching bit out the sock for their team gets a point. The first team to 11 points is the winner, and that is it. It is that simple. It is much harder than it looks. All the bits inside are very similar. There's lots of very similar things. There's even a part where there's a red, blue and white cube. So if you pull the cube out, you know it feels like a cube, you know you've got a cube, you don't know whether you've got a cube of the right colour, so it is more difficult than you would think. It is a very fun party game. I rate it 8 out of 10. I enjoy playing it and would suggest it.
See, it's starting to empty out now. It was really, really busy earlier. With it being Saturday, it's the most popular day of the week. I was talking to Andy from Polyhedron Collider earlier. He was saying that Saturday felt like a regular Friday, and I agree with that. Nearly 5 o'clock, there's only an hour left, and look at all the space. All the tables are still full, pretty much, but...
Yes, all the tables were full. I was struggling to get any games played, and you can tell from this video that I filmed earlier that day that I was not a happy chappy.
So I'm here on the Saturday. It's about 11 AM, so I've been here a couple of hours. Reduced capacity and double spacing, the booth is fine, but it also means that because the tables are spaced out for demos, that it means that there's fewer copies of the games, which means it's hard to get onto them. So yeah, I've been here 2 hours, I've played one game, I've walked around a lot. It doesn't help that I hope people in the hotel were singing 9 till 5 at 4:30 in the morning, so I am quite tired. Can't say I've ever said this before at a board game convention, except for when I went to HandyCon that one time. I'm genuinely bored and fed up.
And at the end of the day on the Saturday, I was still thinking the same thing.
I'm not going to make this video a downer. I'm just not having a very good time, and I know I've got to come back tomorrow. I don't have to come back tomorrow, but... And then hopefully I can play some in the afternoon when all the families have gone home, maybe. We'll see.
Nope, I only played 2 games on the Saturday, but things will pick up, so stay tuned. Now let's get back to the tour of the halls.
Right, there's Rocket Man, the Martin Wallace game. Empty again, but I'm guessing he's done for the day. I wanted to play that earlier and it was empty, but he was going for lunch, so I couldn't, so... Yay! There we go. Gaming tables that cost more than 5 of the 6 cars I've ever owned. All kinds of games. I don't know why I said that. Of course there's all kinds of games, idiot. This is a cool table. We've got the projector on top, look, for the map. That's really good. There's Meeple Land that I played earlier today, that was really good.
Played that one. In Meeple Land you're building a theme park. Each round you get a decreasing amount of income, plus you get money for each meeple already in your park that round. You use that money to buy rides and attractions which you place into your park, and at the end of the round a bus arrives with a number of meeples on it and you need to try and get them onto all the rides. The rides will specify a certain colour of meeple. It will also determine whether that meeple needs to be on an attraction next to, say, a burger stand, for example. Any meeples you can't get in will queue at your gate and be worth minus points at the end of the game. You also get points for pairing up different types of meeples and for having different types of things and stuff. We didn't play a full game, we didn't go all the way through to scoring, we only played 3 rounds, but I enjoyed this game a lot. It looks very simple, but it's very tricky trying to get all the meeples in there. You tend to have more meeples coming into your park than you can possibly buy the rides for them to fit on, and it's a very fun game. I rate it 7 out of 10, usually willing to play.
One of the 2 games I've managed to get played today. Played Mutant Insurrection yesterday, that was good fun.
Played this one. In X-Men Mutant Insurrection, players control a mutant and cooperatively place dice onto missions around the world in order to advance a plot to eventually complete it to win the game. Incompleted missions increase a threat trap which makes the game harder and harder before eventually the players will lose. It's a decent game, but will never be my go-to game for a dice placement game or a co-op game or even a co-op game based in the Marvel Universe. I rate it 6 out of 10, will play if in the right mood.
Expensive coffee. Always a queue though, so it must be nice. Either that or people are desperate. There's a demo copy of Red Rising and people stood around it over there. Here.
Played this one. Colt Super Express is Colt Express boiled down to a 20-minute battle royal game. You move around the train and shoot each other once everybody has programmed and played 3 cards. The coach at the back of the train is removed. If you are on it, you are out. If you are shot off the back of the train, you are out. If you're shot off the front of the train, you are out. Last player standing wins. I like that it's a much quicker and more fun game than Colt Express, but I don't like that they got rid of the player powers that made the characters feel unique. I rate this game 7 out of 10, usually willing to play.
Plan B over there with Equinox, this is another one I'm trying to get to play. They've got 2 copies of it out, the green version and the purple version. I've been trying to play either, no success.
eventual success. In Equinox you have 8 columns, one for each wacky character, and you have 5 rows. You have a hand of cards, you play those cards under the matching character into the first row. When every character in the first row has a card, the character with the lowest number is eliminated for the rest of the game. And you then move on to the second row, third row, etc., eliminating a character each time. On your turn you can also place one of these really nice stones onto one of the cards to bet that they will still be there at the end of the game. The earlier you bet on a creature, the more points that bet is worth, and at the end of the game when there's only 3 creatures remaining, the player with the most points is the winner. Now while I don't feel like I need to own this game, I did enjoy playing it, so I rate it 7 out of 10, usually willing to play.
But there's lots of kids zones, which is really cool. There's a kids roleplay zone as well, where they're playing a basic version of some kind of Dungeons and Dragons style game with lots of minis and stuff. Obviously I don't want to film that because there's kids in it. It's great when you walk around with a camera, everybody moves out of your way. It's loads of fun. I keep saying, you've got as much right to be here as I have just because I'm holding a camera. You don't have to get out of my way. It's very polite of them though, it's very nice. Catan, including the stupidly overpriced version. I say that, I don't know how much it is. It's just plastic, so I'm just guessing it's expensive. Ooh, Zatu used to have a sign that says you get a free bag with every purchase, and that's gone. You don't get a bag with every purchase. How do you get your purchases home? Some Daleks and a TARDIS over there. Fancy stuff from TV. Right, what we got? We got is that Loki staff, Doctor Doom, Mask, Groot, Catwoman maybe, Portal gun, Scooby-Doo. Other bits and bobs, lots of helmets from various track war things. There's a BB whatever over there. I've got no idea what half of those things are. My award for best pun game name is easily Plant-Based Riot. There's some dodgy stuff up there. It's a new game from makers of Wreck and Ruin, Dream Big Games. Well, that's COVID safe in there, isn't it? Jesus. Most people have got masks on. Most people. This is awesome. Really cool. That is the Strata miniatures. Yeah, accessibility is a big part of this year. There's lots of more inclusive stuff being brought into games, be it through artwork, through miniatures as we've just seen, through themes that are more inclusive. Just go around here and show what the open gaming's like, because it is packed today. Look at that. Woo. It is all over. A lot of these people are just eating, especially over here where the food trucks are, which are, I have to say, bloody expensive. Hello. Yeah, that is the tour. That took 20 minutes and I was walking very slowly. Bought a ticket to go see the Dark Room for the first time, which was really good, really entertaining.
What is your name?
Ollie.
No! Darren is your name. How old are you?
I'm 27.
27? Now I like that didn't get anything. No one in the room thought that was a special age.
Look how much room there is. This is nice, isn't it? This is how I thought it was going to be all weekend. It's obviously the Sunday, so there's much fewer people here. Friday was fairly busy, Saturday was ridiculous. I just played Dune Imperium with some people.
Dune Imperium is a deck building game where you play cards from your hands with different symbols on that show you where on the board you can send your agents to different spaces to do things. These spaces let you get resources, move up on tracks, which I think represent different houses or factions or something. You're allowed to put cubes into your garrison, and you can move some of those cubes from your garrison or from your supply to a conflict. When you have no more agents to send out, you flop all your cards down on the table, use the money on those cards to buy new cards, and some of them give you a little combat advantage too, and some other abilities as well. At the end of the round, whoever's got the most cubes in the combat thing wins the top of a card. The card used as prizes for first, second and third, with first being a point. You also get points for moving up on those tracks and buying certain cards and stuff, and the first player to 10 points is the winner. Now thematically for me, I know nothing about Dune at all, but mechanically this game is really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot. So purely for the mechanisms, I'm going to give this game 8 out of 10, enjoy playing it and would suggest it.
But they were saying the same thing. They came here and played the games they wanted. that they bought because they give up trying to demo games yesterday, as did I. I was really grumpy yesterday. But I slept all the way through the night, had a nice breakfast, I've had my 4th coffee of the day, and it is only 10:30. And I've got an hour to kill, and I've got my name down to play Everdell finally, because I haven't played that yet, so I'm going to be playing that shortly.
Everdell is a worker placement game where your animal workers are placed to collect resources, and you can use those resources to build cards either from your hand or those from the meadow on the board. The cards are different buildings or characters, and they all have different abilities that you can use. Some of them are paired together. For example, if you build the inn, you get to build the innkeeper for free should you happen upon it. You play over 4 seasons. With each season you get more workers into your pool so you can take more actions, and at the end of the 4th season the player with the most points is the winner, with points being gained from buildings, effects on buildings, creatures and effects on creatures. It's a very cute game, it's definitely my style of game, but it isn't that fun, but I still rate it 7 out of 10, usually willing to play.
Right, so here's what's funny, is that they are checking to see if you are double vaccinated or you have proof of vaccination and stuff like that. To get your wristband, you get a red one on a Saturday and a Sunday, blue one on Friday for reasons. But what they're not doing is actually checking to see if it's yours or that it's in date. So what I did is I downloaded one off the internet, a screenshot somebody took on their phone of their out of date one, and just held it up on my phone, and here I am with the wristband, because they're not checking them. They're just showing that you have one on your phone. Dodgy, very dodgy.
So dodgy wristbands aside, and a not so fun Saturday, I did have a good time. Now, I've just got 3 games to go to. Some of them are at that Queen Games booth at the back, so let's start with those 2. In Stefan Feld's Cocopelli, you're trying to create sets of 4 cards, but you only have 3 of each card in your deck, so whoever plays a 4th one into the set will score the points for it. The trick here is that you can play into the 4 slots in your village and the 2 slots closest to you in the villages on the player of either side of you. So if you have 3 of a kind in your village, I play the 4th card into there, I will get the points. While cards are in your village, you get to use the abilities of them. But if cards are in your neighbour's village into areas you can play, you can't play one of the same colour into your village. Once all the point tokens have gone, the game will end and the player with the most points wins. It's an interesting game and actually required more thought than I thought it would, but it is from Stefan Feld, so what do you expect? I rate it 7 out of 10, usually willing to play. Scrap Racer is a push-your-luck racing game where you control a car and you roll dice 1 at a time, but if you roll a die of the same number as one you've already rolled, you crash, so you can stop and add the total of your dice and move that many spaces. There are ways to mitigate the luck, but unfortunately you need luck to be able to get those ways to mitigate the luck in the first place, which makes it mildly fun and very frustrating. I rate it 4 out of 10, not so good, but could play again. And last but by no means least was a game that I played at a booth that I missed on camera as I was doing my tour of the halls. In Don't Turn Out the Lights, players have 5 light cards, and each turn one of the monsters is going to attack them. If they have enough lights on, then the monster won't do anything except turn one of their lights off by flipping their card face down. But if a player doesn't have enough lights to fend off the monster, then they will lose one of their light cards permanently. Play continues around the table until only one player has a light card, and that player is the winner. Players have cards in hand they can use to help themselves or hinder their opponents. Instead of playing a card, a player can turn one of their own lights back on or turn an opponent's light off. This is a very good version of one of these kind of games, these light, random-ish card games. With a fun theme and nice artwork, I rate it 6 out of 10, will play if in the right mood. So that is my experiences of the UK Games Expo 2021. Now overall I had a good time, apart from that busy Saturday when I was a bit fed up due to the reduced number of booths available to play games at and much fewer indie publishers as well to play some random indie games. Thanks to everyone who wore a mask, it was good to see most people wearing them. No thanks to anyone who didn't wear a mask who wasn't medically exempt. You're not really helping, please stay away. I know that a lot of people, including myself, were pinged when we got back on the Monday, which means we had to self-isolate for 10 days, which is great. But all my tests have come back negative, so I'm fine. Thanks to the UK Games Expo for putting it on and getting everything done and doing what they need to do, all their safety protocols, going above and beyond, listening to people when they originally didn't make masks mandatory, so thank you to them for that. No thanks to security for kind of doing your job, but also just sort of half-arsing it. And thanks for all the volunteers and staff and people who demoed who didn't have to go, but did to make sure the event went ahead, and despite it still being a pandemic, because without them, well, there'd be nothing to do. The dates are up for next year. I already didn't book my hotel and I've already missed out on some of the cheaper ones. That's great, so I'll be looking for a hotel over the next couple of weeks. But anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of UK Games Expo 2021. Let me know what you thought if you didn't go. Did you think you made the right decision? Are you jealous? Or are you happy that you made your choice and you felt it was right? That's fine. Remember to like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, Insta, Twitch and YouTube at JestaThaRogue, and find the blog at JestaThaRogue.com. I'll be Rob, aka JestaThaRogue, and I'll see you soon.